see Carl Bennett and Houdiniz just moving in. Safety car at the back will come to a halt, and they should have a marshal at the back of the grid waving the green flag. Not this time. 4 lights have come on and they go out. And it is a very good start for Phil Nael. Takes the lead immediately ahead of Deligny. Deligny is not going to get a chance there, but Deligny is under pressure from Valerio Rinicella with Christian Ho just behind. Alexari still there in 5th position, but he's been taken by Noah Stromstead as they round the first couple of right-handers. And it's a very, very good start by Alexari as well. And oh, some damage at the back. There's some front wings and some rear wings have gone flying. Someone has gone into the back of someone else. Plenty of damage there. And that may actually see a safety car. Unless marshals can get those sizable pieces out of the way quickly. They've got about a minute and a half to do it if they are going to do it. Meanwhile, Nael leads from Deligny. Rinicella is 3rd. Alexari is 4th. Christian Ho then Stromstead. And Claro has dropped to 4th. And I think Ho has gotten ahead of Alexari. He has confirmed on screen there. Riccardo Grazia up to 8th. Ninovic is 9th. Carasquara rounding out the top 10. This is Claro battling with Stromstead. Has taken the position. Oh, sorry, that was not Stromstead. As they round out the final few corners of this first lap, you can see the leaders just passing through in front of you, exiting that final tight corner. As we see Carasquara and Cardenas coming through that final bend. It is Teophile Nael, Enzo Deligny, then Rinicella in 3rd place, Christian Ho, Alexari is in 5th position ahead of Claro, then Stromstead, then Ninovic and Grazia and Carasquara. There's another Sainteloc racing driver, Theodore Jensen, trying to go down the inside of Pablo Sarrazin. And he does kind of, didn't quite see if he completed the move. Nael continuing to extend his lead there. 1.3 seconds ahead of Rinicella. Rinicella is pulling in Deligny bit by bit. And he has set the fastest lap once again at 1:41.078 on that previous lap by Deligny. It's only bit by bit. He's not taking significant chunks out of Deligny. We're halfway through this race. 13 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. See Rinicella. It's got a bit of a gap, 9/10 of a second to Christian Ho. Christian Ho is just, he's there, he's not quite pressing, but he's present. Not pressuring Rinicella too much. Ho himself has got enough of a gap over Alazzari, who's running in 5th, to not to worry too much about that, 1.5 seconds. And then Alazzari himself also has a gap of 2.5 seconds to Pedro Claro. Claro is got Ninovic pretty much on his tail, and Stromstead. They're going to be pressing hard and really waiting for Claro to maybe lose a bit of ground here with his Hankook tyres. Claro's been fighting quite hard the first portion of this race. He's had a bit of a train behind him. And of course, there's also the principle of strategy on these race weekends as well. You're very, very limited on tyres. And it's not unusual. It's not unusual. I've seen this plenty of times on the race weekends in the junior categories where you're very, very limited on tyres. So sometimes it's not unusual for drivers and teams to work on which race is the ones they theoretically are going to lose the least in. If you're qualifying in the bottom half of, say, the top 5 or the top 10, can you, on a shorter race with fewer points paying, do you risk running tyres you've already used in practice? Possibly try and maintain your top 5, maintain a top 6, but then use your fresher tyres for races 1 and 3, which actually pay more points, and you may have a better qualifying position, or you theorise you may be able to overtake more positions. And that's the kind of strategy battle a lot of drivers are facing in this race. And Pedro Claro, he's gained 3 places, so he started in 9th position. So him on slightly older tyres would not be beyond the realms of possibility. Nenovic as well, who started 11th, currently running 7th. I do wonder if Stromstead, who started 6th, has lost a couple of positions and is struggling to get back into this race. Then maybe he could be running slightly older tyres too. It's all... And don't be surprised as well, I've been in that position where I've been down in paddocks and checked in with drivers as what tyres are you running. You're running your practice tyres, you're running your qualifying tyres in this particular race, and you may not necessarily get the truth. Meanwhile, Ninovic, solid job today, up to 7th place, as mentioned, having started down 11th. He's 11th in the standings. He got points yesterday, finished 8th in yesterday's race, and has had 2 other points paying positions so far this season. Got 5th in race 1 at Spa and 10th in race 3 at Spa. Really hoping probably for a little bit more from the Carlin racer, but he has been solid. And right now doing a reasonable job chasing Claro. Gap is not too significant, 0.8 of a second, not really close enough at this time to put Claro under pressure. You don't necessarily want to be putting the driver ahead of you under pressure all the time, because eventually you're just going to burn through your own tyres, and that's going to be completely useless, because then you'll fall down the order yourself. At the same time, you can't relax too much because he's got no Stromstead on his tail. Still this battle for 6th and 7th positions rages on. There's not any battles up front, so you're not missing anything towards the front of the field. Teophile Nael has built a gap of 1.8 seconds over Enzo Deligny. with Valerio Rinicella 1.3 seconds behind him. And Rinicella is pulling Deligny in. And again, as I mentioned earlier on, it's bit by bit. It's a tenth of a second here, 2/10 of a second there. Rinicella currently running in the 1 minute 41.0, while Deligny is in the 1 minute 41.1s and the 41.2s. So we do see Stromstad is going to have another go at Ninovic soon, and hopefully clear out. He's had a little bit of time where he's really cooled down his tires, giving himself a little breather. Now he's got 8 minutes plus 1 lap remaining to make goals for the positions ahead. But no pressure yet on the Rodin Carlin driver or the MP Motorsport racer just ahead. Claro, though, in 6th position, is falling further and further behind the top 5. The gap now over 3 seconds. So the Capos team watching Stromstad's progress in the pit wall, and then we'll see for the first time in quite a while Phil Nael, and that gap he does have over Enzo Deligny. Now, interestingly enough, Rinicella has lost a few seconds to few tenths of a second to Deligny. He's dropped down. His 1.6 seconds is the gap between 2nd and 3rd places. And Christian Ho has closed slightly in on Rinicella. That's over 3rd and 4th places. Nael now has lost about a couple of tenths of a second here and there to Deligny, but at this stage, not quite enough to really make any kind of significant difference to the lead. I don't really see Deligny challenging anytime soon, but you just bide your time, you wait. As mentioned, this track temperature is very, very, very high. There's got to be a few minutes left. 6 minutes plus 1 lap remaining, possibly 8 minutes of this race left to see whether the Hancock tyres will last to the end of this race. You see Christian Ho in 4th position, coming from turn 1. We've had one retirement so far in this race. Matteo Di Pello incident at the opening part of this race. We've had 2 pits. We've had Alexander Absakava and Fernando Barrichello in the pits for technical issues. Both have rejoined, are still running in this race, albeit in 28th and 29th positions. Not that that will bother this man out front. Nael is towards the end of the back straight, then Deligny in 2nd place coming through the orange card at number 55. Valerio Rinicella takes the double right-hander. Goes into double left for a short shoot, short straight into a tight, not quite a hairpin right-hander. Takes him a bit of a stretch with left-hand kink before they go to the tight right-hand bang to take them onto the start finish straight once again. This is Kiana Alazzari going for the picture now, 5th position in this race. 2nd placed rookie in this race so far. The highest placed rookie is, of course, the man who is 2nd position at the moment, Enzo Deligny. Rinicella coming through first couple of corners, 3rd position. He'll be hoping for a little bit more. As mentioned, pole position yesterday, but finished in 2nd place. He won race 3 at Spa-Francorchamps on the track, but then received a penalty for overtaking outside the track bounds and got a penalty for that, which dropped him outside the points completely. And he has got pole position, provisional pole position, I must say. race 3 later on today. Rinicella has had opportunities to take race wins, but it's not quite befallen him yet. He'll be hoping to change that later on today. It's very unlikely he's going to be able to do so in the remaining 3.5 minutes plus 1 lap. He's not closing in on Deligny for second place, and by the same measure, Deligny is not closing in on Nael for the lead anymore. And Christian Ho, by the way, in 4th position, is not closing in on Rinicella for 3rd place. Alazzari is 5th, 2.8 seconds behind Ho. Claro is 6th, 3.2 seconds behind Alazzari. He's shaken off Ninovic to a degree, and the gap between Claro and Ninovic is now 1 second, but Stromstead is still a few tenths behind Ninovic, and Grazia is still a few tenths behind Stromstead, and at the back end of the top 10, Cardenas, the rookie, is only 4 tenths behind Grazia. As mentioned earlier on, it's unless you're really close coming out of that final corner, it's difficult to get a run out of the final corner down the start-finish straight and into what I mentioned is effectively it's a triple right-hander to turns 1, 2, and 3, which gradually get tighter and tighter and tighter. Well, turn 1 is more of a kink, then you get a medium speed corner that has turn 2, and then it's a tight right-hander for turn 3. It's such a pace you carry through 2. It's very easy to lose the front end of your car if you're too close to someone ahead. So actually making an overtake then into 3 doesn't quite come off. Watch Ninovic in 7th position for Rodan Carlet. Bit of a slide there for both. That was Claro and Ninovic. I do wonder maybe if they're losing the best of their Hancocks, losing the back end like that. It's going to be a bit hairy for the last couple of races if that is the case. And you really tell the heat must be getting through to the Hancocks now. The laps, in terms of tyres, really are beginning to drop off. All those drivers who were at one point going through 1 minute 41.0s, 1 minute 41s, and 1 minute 41.1s and 41.2s, are now very much dropping into the 41.4s and 41.5s. The times really dropping off bit by bit by bit by bit for the whole field. But no one is losing so much as to be rendering themselves a threat to anyone behind. These top 3 have led the way right from the beginning. And really very much it's the top 4 on the grid, and top 5 on the grid actually, I must say, top 5 on the grid. And Alazzari have actually maintained their positions, their qualifying positions, right from the off. No change there. Nael continues to lead from Deligny, who's on screen now. The Red Bull Junior, who's ahead of Rinicella, who's ahead of Christian Ho, and who's ahead of Keanu Alazzari in 5th position. Rinicella continuing to press. He has the fastest lap. Mentioned earlier on, 1 minute 41.02. As we're going to the final lap of this race. Only other driver really to get close to that was Phil Nael with 1 minute 41.08. As mentioned, his times have dropped off a few tenths time since then. Deligny a little bit quicker, but you know, he's 1.7 seconds behind. This is very much just getting the cars to the flag, getting the points. Really congratulating each other for a good morning's work. straight. Not long left. Next to the couple of right-handers. This is a tight right-hander followed by this kind of long, limping kick. They break hard. Two left-handers. Shoot, break again. Coming through the final couple of bends. This race come to a close with Phil Nael taking the race win, his third win of the season, his third win in a row, and we may really be seeing a championship challenge really punched now. Deligny takes second place ahead of Rinicella. Christian Ho is fourth ahead of Chiano Alazzari in fifth position. Pedro Claro maintained sixth position in the end. Good result for him after starting ninth. Ninovic takes seventh, having started 11th. Stromstead eighth, and Riccardo Grazia ninth place for the final points position. And it was Rinicella who got the bonus point for fastest lap. Fantastic job by Nael. Really didn't look challenged today. He was composed. And as we go into the summer break after this afternoon's final race, I'm sure he will be delighted with his uniform. But we still have a race to go. Park Ferme, winner for Sainteloc Racing. And as a team, they're really getting together. They're very much getting into this. They're, of course, a well-experienced team in motorsport, mostly in GT racing over the year. Decided to launch themselves into single-seater racing. Did it around this time last year. And they've worked hard, they've worked diligently, and are now finding success. Pulling into the pit lane, the top three. In the overall classification, and top three rookies will also pull into Parc Ferme. As you can see just behind Chiano Alazzari, slightly into the second place position behind Deligny, who will be the winner for the podium standings in this race, but it's not the winner of the whole race. That's that man there, Teophile Nael, celebrating once again with his mechanics, with his colleagues, and now may just be putting a stamp on this championship challenge. And we're going to see an interview with Nael in a few moments' time. We did have some limited penalties towards the end of that race, for track limits mainly, as we see Rinicella, third place. We'll podium for him. Carl Bennett down in 22nd place, took 2 seconds time penalty. Daniel Nogales ended race 15th, but came home 16th. He had 2 seconds. Track penalty, track limits penalty, and of course, the other penalty was applied to Massimiliano Restrepo. He had 5 seconds. So he actually had 2 completely separate track limits penalties, so he must have actually been track limits for 6 or 7 times. And he lost, well, he remained in 27th place.
Teophile, congratulations. Great and long race with a very hot track. What's your feelings?
Yeah, it's still a short race, but it's still really long because it's really hot. I'm super happy. We did a very good job with the team. Now it's still another race 3 this afternoon. Apparently it's gonna be super hot again, so we need to manage it, but yeah, thanks to the team again because we came back from really far.
Very important points for the championship.
Yeah, it's really important. It's the third win in a row for me, so yeah, it's super.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Teophile Nael. Now, provisionally, well, I'm going to give you the provisional results first. Nael winning the race ahead of Deligny, Rinicella. That's the podium positions with Christian Ho, Chiana Alazzari, Pedro Claro running at top 6, then Ninovic, Noah Stromstead, and Ricardo Grazia, 2 points paint finishers ahead of Andres Cardenas. Then Berio, Carasquada, Sarazan, Yamakoshi, Jensen, Nagales, who's got a penalty, Rodea, Peebles, Morana, and Kota. That's the top 20. And we will get positions 21. That's Federico Arafai, Carl Bennett got a penalty for track limits, Eric Genet, Flavio Oliveri, Georgi Zurawski, Hodinez, Restrepo got 2 penalties for track limits. Absakava coming on 28. Barrichello did finish, but a lap down he spent time in the pit lane, I believe, having his straps being done. Replay. The highlights from this morning's race. A lot of it was pedal backwards. Barrichello getting 10 to 2 bits. That's Stromstead fighting up Grazia. Pablo Sarazan fighting the Carasquada. Yamakoshi. Well, the Carlin entry to come home 7th. Carl Bennett fighting over the lower positions. Oliveri, we did have a few moments with Ninovic and Claro really winning from the back end of the cars. And we wonder maybe very late in that race if the tires were beginning to ebb a little bit. And of course, race winner Nael enjoying his success. Now, I do have provisional times for race 3, which takes place later on today. I say provisional because we also have to wait to see if there are any post-race penalties applied hereafter. And consequently, it's Valerio Rinicella at the moment is on provisional pole position with 1 minute 39.7, with Enzo Deligny alongside on the front row of the grid. Teophile Nael will get away from 3rd on the grid ahead of Noah Stromstead, while Andres Cardenas and Pedro Claro round out the 3rd row. Christian Ho will start 7th ahead of Matteo De Peo, while Chiana Alazzari starts 9th. Relatively low starting position for him. Jessica Carasquada will round out the top 10. Pablo Sarazan and Alvis Rodea will start 11th and 12th ahead of Geronimo Berio and Alex Ninovic. Ninovic started 11th today, got 7th. He'll be hoping for a similar climb later on this afternoon. Alexander Absakava provisionally will start 15th ahead of Ricardo Grazia, Luciano Morano 17th, Theodore Jensen 18th, Daniel Nagales 19th, and Fernando Barrichello 20th, which I think might be his highest starting position of the season so far, as we see the podium celebrations beginning. The 3 drivers on the field and the Sainteloc Racing representative on the podium. They'll get their trophies first, and then we'll hear the national anthem, and then we will have the alcohol-free bubbly being sprayed. Give it extra fizz just to make it a little bit more enticing. As we see the gold team's trophy to the Sainteloc Racing representative. Post some pictures is Dr. Jonathan Palmer. Well done. Of course, this is a circuit that was purchased by Motorsport Vision, Jonathan Palmer's company, November last year. And we see 3rd place man Valerio Rinicella getting the bronze trophy. Look at the silver trophy for second place, Enzo Deligny, in a few moments' time, the Red Bull junior driver. Solid performance from him today. Palmer again, once again. Handshake, take the picture, well done. And race winner for the third time in a row, Teophile Nael for Sainteloc Racing. Gets the gold trophy. Handshake, turn around. Oh, didn't turn around. Oh, you missed your opportunity for a picture. Well, there you go. And some delighted mechanics and representatives and families and friends and colleagues in the pit lane below. Pictures, take off your hats, national anthem. Take a moment to breathe and relax. And the celebrations for the top three over a fantastic race. Now, gather together, take your pictures. And getting stylish pictures this time. This is exciting. We're trying to get the crowd involved as well. Isn't that nice? Pictures done, podium done, and we're done. Until later on this afternoon. Well, we'll be back for race 3 today, just before 3 p.m. on the continent. That's 2 p.m. UK, so tune in at around 1:50 UK, 2:50 on the continent to get the final race of this weekend. The final race of Spanish Formula 4 for several months. We will, of course, be taking a summer break after this weekend. We'll be back in September, but until then, we've got one more to go. Valerio Rinicella is on pole position. I'll be here to bring it to you. And we are looking forward to a summer break in which we will think about lots of Spanish Formula 4 and lots more racing to come. But until then, this afternoon, thank you and goodbye.
De la categoría rookie, Enzo Deligny. Mr. Jonathan Palmer, director ejecutivo.